Today we've heard a lot of different legal theories about interpreting the Constitution, and at times I know it feels a little bit like a law school lecture. So I'd like to kind of cut through the legalese and clearly focus on something that I find deeply troubling. What Republicans are offering is a plan to redefine who gets to be American. And it's a big step towards a country where Americanness itself applies to only a privileged few, and a country where future and past generations are relegated to an underclass status. They're trying to stake out who is a real American, and it will leave a whole lot of people out. And this, I think, is a frightening road to go down. The arguments we've heard have been with us since our founding, as you pointed out, Professor Frost. The Dred Scott decision changed the common law understanding of birthright citizenship for all. It enabled slave owners to use the law to take away citizenship, to take away identity, to take away the freedom of Black people. The 14th Amendment and the Civil Rights Act of 1866 were a direct response to Dred Scott. The law grants citizenship to people born in this country, plain and simple. Yet here we are, over 150 years later, talking about how maybe the straightforward language of the law could possibly or should actually be used to deny citizenship for often people of color. Ms. Frost, did the framers of the 14th Amendment intend to extend birthright citizenship to the children of slaves and other non-citizens?
Yes, the Reconstruction Congress could not have been clearer. They used clearer language, and their discussions that followed made this clear. They said, of course, they wanted to overrule Dred Scott, which included giving citizenship to all enslaved Americans, including those who had arrived illegally because they'd been illegally imported after the laws prohibited it. They were the illegal aliens of the day. The Reconstruction Congress said, we want them to have citizenship. The second group explicitly discussed was the children of immigrants, in particular, the children of Chinese immigrants. That was the intention of the Reconstruction Congress, and they achieved that through clear language.
Thank you, through clear language. And citizenship was based on where you were born, correct? And not actually the identity of your parents.
Of course. We are a country that doesn't visit the sins of the father on the child. We believe in the idea that all people born are equally American because they are born in the United States. Our Constitution rejected titles of nobility explicitly. We, of course, rejected a hereditary monarchy. America is about birthplace. It's not about ancestry or lineage.
So is it safe to say that the 14th Amendment enshrined citizenship for an entire class of people and their ancestors?
Yes, of course. And any other rule would require a test of lineage and ancestry for every new child born in the United States. I'd like to quickly add 33 countries have birthright citizenship in response to Congressman Hunt's question, including Mexico and Canada. We are not outliers.
Exactly. I'm so glad you brought that up because I had it in my notes to bring that up as well. So what if the Supreme Court decides that the 14th Amendment actually does not give citizenship to children born in this country to non-citizens? What if the Supreme Court made that ruling? Where does that leave the descendants of those who've been granted birthright citizenship?
Yeah, I mean, it would unwind the citizenship of the entire country. We are a nation of immigrants. A very significant majority of us trace back, really other than Native Americans, trace back our lineage to an immigrant, parent, grandparent. 5% of our military are the children of immigrants. Now, all of us, when we have a baby, the first thing we'd have to do is produce proof of our citizenship. Imagine a generation from now. It wouldn't be good enough to show your own birth certificate. You'd have to show the lineage. This is exactly what the Reconstruction Congress wanted to prevent, and it's exactly the result that Dred Scott wanted.
I appreciate that so much. So let's follow this logic. Say a person's grandparents came to this country from Central Europe in the 19th century. An investigation reveals that those grandparents used false pretenses or false names at Ellis Island. Does that mean, based on what my colleagues would be saying today, that the present-day descendants of those grandparents are not citizens?
The logic of the position is that every single person who considers themselves an American, perhaps people in Congress, certainly people voting, would suddenly be under scrutiny, and any flaw in their family's immigration history, going back to the Contract Labor Act of 1885, where if you came to the US with a contract to work, that was illegal. Many people violated that law in 1885. All of those people, their descendants today, could have their citizenship questioned and could be stripped of their citizenship under the executive order.
Thank you. And if I could, in conclusion, because I see that I'm out of time, doing away with birthright citizenship is an intentional choice to give this president, I believe, massive power to dictate who is and who is not an American.